Good day, everyone. Welcome to today's virtual lesson on tracking attention in a classroom. I'm Catherine Bantowag, one of your instructors for this session. I hope you've dived into something exciting learning. Today we're exploring the concept of tracking, not watching, an effective classroom management strategy. We will discuss what tracking means and how it differs from passive watching, the benefits of tracking for both students and teachers, and lastly, the practical ways to implement tracking in your own learning or classroom setting. Before we start, here are the um, objectives. By the end of the lesson, you will be able to understand and define tracking as a concept and recognize the key differences between tracking and watching, and lastly, explain the benefits of tracking. What is tracking? Tracking refers to students actively following the teacher or the lesson with intent and focus. Unlike passive watching, where students might appear attentive but aren't truly engaged. Tracking is purposeful and mindful, keeping students alert and ready to participate. For example, when I'm explaining something, tracking means that your eyes are on me or on the relevant material, or your mind is focused on understanding the content. Next, why is tracking important? Tracking builds a focused, organized environment where everyone is aligned with the lesson. When students track, they're more likely to retain information, stay engaged, and be prepared to answer questions. What's now the difference between tracking and watching? Tracking is an active engagement, purposeful eye contact, focus on understanding, while watching is passive, passively distracted or disengaged, not fully focused. Tracking can be practiced by first, making consistent eye contact with the teacher or speaker. Second, looking at the board or materials being discussed. And lastly, maintaining an alert body language that shows readiness to engage. Now imagine you're in a classroom. Your teacher asks a question. How do you signal you're ready to answer? Through tracking, you show attentiveness and lean in slightly and focus on the teacher. Now, let's test your understanding with a few quick evaluation questions. I'll ask the question and I want you to pause the video to think about your answer. Ready? Here's the question. What does tracking mean in the context of a classroom? Thank you. Tracking means actively focusing on the teacher, material, or content to stay engaged and involved in the lesson. Next question. How is tracking different from passive watching? Yes. Thank you. Tracking involves active engagement and intent to understand, while watching can be passive and unfocused. Next question. Why is tracking beneficial for classroom engagement? Okay, thank you. So, tracking helps students stay focused, increases retention, and shows the teacher that students are attentive and ready to participate. Okay, so next question. What is one way you can practice tracking in a lesson? Okay, so thank you. By making eye contact with the speaker, on focusing on the board or materials being discussed. Okay, so last question. How does tracking help improve the classroom environment? Okay, so thank you. The answer is it creates an organized, attentive atmosphere where everyone is aligned with the learning objectives and allowing for better focus and participation. Okay, so let's read a summary. Today we've covered the concept of tracking, not watching. So remember, tracking is about active focus and engagement in the classroom. It differs from passive watching by encouraging students to be mentally present. And lastly, tracking supports a positive, organized learning environment where everyone benefits from engagement and attentiveness. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you for listening.